So hello and welcome to domytriesthis. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today's coffee mug actually came from a viewer. I believe this one is from Jean. And it has a nice little heart, a couple hearts on it with an arrow and some flowers. It's a Valentine's mug. We're heading there, so I might as well start pulling them out because I have a lot. I have a lot. Anyway, in our mug is not really a tea, I guess. This is also from my Sips By. It's the last one from my Sips By. It may not be the last one you see for the January Sips By because I'm not sure where this is going to be uploaded. But this is the Masala Blends Taste Happiness Chai Time. And it's this little packet of dusty stuff. And the directions said 1/4 teaspoon, which is what I've used. And you can either use it by itself or you can put it with another tea. We are trying it by itself, but with my usual tea things. A little sugar and a little splash of milk. And when I say a splash, I mean literally a splash of milk. And there were some larger pieces in here that almost implied it was kind of like a tea. There still is some in here. But this is probably not going to like steep and get stronger. There are some little bits in there, kind of like what tea would have, a really fine ground tea would have. But I assumed, because of the way they explained it, that it didn't need to be in a tea bag. So I'm sure nothing of these little specks will hurt me. But let's go ahead and give her a taste, and then we will get started. The scent is very faint. The flavor is very faint. It's chai. That's all I can say. I don't think I'm impressed. But that may be because I used the amount they said to use, and I may need to add more, which I could probably do right now. So I'm going to put in a little bit more, and we're going to let it sit. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Okay. I put in just a little bit more. Get everything off the package. Not a lot. I don't think I put even 1/4 teaspoon. So we will see what happens. Let that blend in and do its thing, and we will see what happens at the end of the video like usual. So far, not impressed. Let's let it sit, though. So today we're going to talk about some changes I've made to my hair care routine. As you noticed, we did a beginning montage, and if you've noticed, one, I've had some thinning hair issues. That started with premenopause, and also I have graying hair issues, and between the two, I've made some changes. So some things that need to be done to take care of your graying hair and some things to help with the thinning hair. So we will talk about those first, and then I will talk about the actual routine changes and what else has been going on. One of the other changes that is obviously the length. My hair has been getting longer. I haven't been using my hair growth oils for my scalp as much because of something else I'm using. But back in mid-May, my hair was 17 1/4 inches. And as of now, it is 19 1/2 inches. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot because, what is that? That's 1 3/4 probably. However, in between those two dates, I've had 2 layering cuts where I've cut off anywhere from 1/2 inch to 1 1/2 inches. That's when I layer my hair, I split it into horizontal sections, and then I pull it forward and I do a cut. And I am actually cutting because I am trying to reapportion the layers of my hair. And I don't do it all at once because what I end up doing is so let's say I was going to cut this. I would cut that right about there, and then whatever else I pulled to come forward, which is not going to do so well in this one, but I would want it to be longer than that. So my layers would have about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch, maybe a little bit more in between them doing that. It is a weird way to do hair. It is my weird way to do hair, but it obviously seems to work for my hair. It actually gives me a little bit more fullness where I need it. And as much as I liked my cut that I got, that I am now blanking out on the name of it. As much as I like the cut, I don't think that cut was suitable for what I wanted to do with my hair, which was grow it out. And with the layering process, I can grow it out. So with the way I do it, because I just reapportion my layers every time. So I'm not paying another $150 to get a haircut. I love her. I recommend her if you're looking for something along the lines of what she did. It wasn't a diva cut, it was the other cut. So I'll list it all down below, I'm sure, or I'll put it in, you know. Anyway, so I did enjoy the cut. I enjoyed her as a stylist. She was very open to what I wanted and everything like that. But I don't think the cut suited me in the long run. It worked very well for my hair when it was shorter, but it just didn't grow out. And I'm not going to keep paying $100 to go and have my hair reapportioned and retaken care of and all that stuff. Just not doing it. It's too expensive. That would have been a once a year cut, and I'm just going to skip it. But in addition to the two relayering cuts to portion where my hair is sitting, I've also done 2 dustings. Now, dustings don't take off that much, but basically it takes up to about 1/4 of an inch when you trim it off, which would mean about 1/2 an inch. Some spots would take off a little bit more. And basically with a dusting cut, you take a section of your hair. I'm just going to take a small section of my hair. I actually just did a dusting cut and I may need to relook at it. Highly recommend, if you're going to do this, you use hair scissors. But you take, what I would do is I would take them and it would obviously go into 2 different things. And then I would slant my hand so that I can get those 2 layers together. And then I go out as far as I can to get just the little bits that are sticking out that aren't fitting with the rest of it, and I snip those off. That's a dusting cut. That's it. That's all you do. You're not relayering. You're not cutting off a bunch of length. You're just basically getting rid of some of your dead ends. So I've had 2 of those, and I've had 2 relayering. So between the 4 different little cuts, I've probably had anywhere from, I'm going to say 2.5 to 3.5 inches taken off from those. So even though it's at 19.5, it could have been at 22 or 23 by now. So we had a lot of hair cut off. At any rate, so the changes in my hair, as you saw, one of the things, and as I mentioned earlier, one of the things that I had to work with early on is that I was losing hair from menopause. And at first I didn't realize what was going on. I think I lost at least 1/4 of my hair, possibly close to 1/3. I lost a lot of hair because my hair was very full, much like this or fuller than this when I was younger, and all of a sudden it wasn't. And if you looked at some of the pictures, you can see where the thinning was particularly in this area. And it still looks like it's thinning, but a lot of that is because of the hair being silver, which we will also be talking about soon. And I decided to try minoxidil. Now, minoxidil for women, I started with the hers, and I believe I'd unboxed it here on the channel, and I said I would get you guys back to it. So I'm getting back to it. It's for women, it's the 2% or the 2% minoxidil. It's not a very strong concentration of minoxidil. I understand why. For younger women in particular who might be using this, you don't want to use anything too strong in case you're going to have children. You don't want anything to affect your pregnancy. And I don't know what this would do, but that's probably part of it. I used that for the first month. I didn't notice a whole lot of growth. This is where I started on that. But if you looked at the montage, that middle portion between when it was in the middle of there, you don't see a whole lot of growth at first. So it took a little bit, and I don't think the 2% really helped me that much. So they have these packages on Amazon of the Kirkland Signature Extra Strength for Men Minoxidil. This is a topical solution, 5%. They have them in big boxes. So I went ahead and bought a box, and what I started to do to adjust myself, because I will say, when I first started using the minoxidil, there was some scalp itching. It wasn't horrible, and I figured it was just this areas where I was having trouble with hair, kind of waking back up, so to speak. You know, when things heal and stuff like that, sometimes they itch. So it wasn't horrible. It didn't drive me crazy. I didn't notice any other issues, just a minor itching. So what I started to do is, when the hers one, the one that was 2%, started to get lower, I started mixing in the Kirkland and slowly increased the strength, so that when I got to the 5%, I wasn't going to go crazy with more itching, and it seems to have worked. I still occasionally have some itching, but it's not like I've got to scratch it, that's an allergy kind of thing, kind of itching. It's just, you know, just a scalp itch. Like I said, it's like something healing or something. It doesn't feel horrible. There's no burning. There's no scabbing, anything like that. So I started using this, and you use it twice a day. And I basically take the dropper. I'm not going to fill it up, but they have a line on the dropper that you fill it up to. And then I just dab it on my head where I wanted it. And I think, too, that sort of helped what I was doing, because I noticed when I initially started using it, I tried to use it all over my head. And there's just not, with the amount they want you to use, there's just not enough to go all over your head. And I think that, too, was part of the problem. It dilutes it, and it just wasn't working for me that well. So I started paying attention to where the problems were, and it's mostly on this side. I did have a little bit of issue on this side, too, but it's mostly on this side. It was in here. You can still see some remnants of it. And then it went up in here, where you can still see that it's still thinner than if I lift my hair up on this side. You can kind of still see that this side is still a little thinner. So I started focusing it, and that's how we got that last photo, where you can see that it is actually doing stuff. For a few months there, I was having trouble seeing if it was doing anything. If you have a hair problem, now there are certain things that it does not work for. And it says, do not use if you have no family history of hair loss, which I don't know. Your hair loss is sudden and or patchy. In other words, you have a little hair loss here, you have a little hair loss here, it's got to be fairly consistent. You do not know the reason for your hair loss. Like I said, I'm not positive, but it started with menopause. So for me, you are under 18 years of age. Do not use on babies and children. Your scalp is red, inflamed, infected, irritated, or painful. You use other medications on your scalp. Now, when it says that you can use oils on your scalp with these, what you have to do is put this on, let it dry for at least 30 minutes, preferably closer to an hour, and then you can put your growth oil or whatever on. I haven't had any issues with that. Like I said, I've been having trouble remembering to do that, but but if you're having menopause, as long as your hair isn't coming out because of medication or some of the other reasons on here, you might want to try getting one bottle and seeing if your scalp can tolerate it, but you're not going to see results right away. You're not going to see results for at least 3 to 4 months. So you would need more than one bottle. Now, why did I go to Kirkland? Go to this on Amazon. It's cheaper. The one from hers was nice, but it was also like $15 a bottle. This, I can get a full set of bottles, and I can't remember the price, but I will list it down below. And it's for 6 months. Each of these bottles is for 1 month, and you get 6 of them in the Kirkland. So that's one of the first changes. I have to do that twice a day. I do it after my shower, and then I do it just before bed every night. So that is the first thing. The other thing that changed, as you all have seen and probably noticed in the montage, is this. Now, I did start graying younger. I did start having silver show up when my kids were in high school and stuff. But it was just like individual little strands. It was, we all get silver eventually. We eventually all go gray at some point. But this past year has been, well, you saw. I had almost no silver in the beginning of January of 2019. It was all up in here. It was all in my rogue stripes pretty much. There was a little scattering, but there wasn't as much on top. And this past year, it's just, has just gone so much. It has silvered so quickly. I think I was just under a lot of stress. It has been a very stressful year. I think we all can agree with that. And stress is one of those things that can affect your hair. So anyway, moving on. So there's been a lot more silver, and I had noticed over the last, I was still an Eden ambassador, so I would have to say October or November, I was noticing some more issues with my hair that I hadn't been having before, or that were like coming back. Like I noticed more dryness. I noticed more issues with using certain products. Just a whole lot of little things. My hair was still looking good. It just wasn't feeling good. And I also noticed that these under areas where you can see the silver, where it's more straight, I noticed those had started curling before this, and well, you can see what's happened. They don't curl as much. They're more waves. So I had to finally go out and go, what is going on? What's different with my hair other than the thinning? And I went looking, and it turns out silver hair has special needs. My hair is special needs hair now. It already was special needs, and now it needs more. So basically with silver hair, your hair needs more moisture. It's more dry. Your hair needs more protection. Your hair, those are the big ones right there. So your hair is going to be different when it gets silver. Your curl is going to loosen if you've got curls. It's going to be drier. It's going to be rougher in a lot of ways, just because of what's going on with how losing the color affects the actual strand. I don't want to go into the whole science of it. I went looking because I just really noticed my hair being drier, breaking a little easier, just having some issues that it hadn't had since I started trying to take care of the curly hair. Because of what my hair now needs in terms of protection, in terms of moisture, it needs a lot more moisture, and stuff like that, I've had to completely change, mostly change my hair routine, and so that's what we're going to talk about a little bit. Because I work out, I still need to wash my hair 4 to 5 times a week, 6 times a week. And that's because even though the hair has changed, my scalp still sweats when I work out. And I'm not leaving that shit in my scalp or in my hair. Just no, we are not doing the crunchy scalp sweat hair, just not. However, because of it being drier, I can't wash with shampoo as much as I was. And I really wasn't washing with shampoo that much anyway. I mean, you all know I'm looking for gentler shampoos, and I ended up having to go to the gentlest shampoo I could find, which was the Eden Body Works Papaya Castor Scalp Cleanser. And I have to find the gentlest clarifier, which is the Oedad Waterworks. I'm not looking for any more shampoos. Those two are just going to have to do for me because of the fact that my hair now dries out so easily. As you all know, I was washing with shampoo once, sometimes twice a week. I don't do that anymore. I can't. If I do that, my hair starts to dry out very quickly. So now I am actually using shampoo only once every 2 weeks. So I've actually kind of scheduled it for somewhere around the 15th and somewhere around the 30th, essentially. That helps keep it. Having dates like that helps me make sure that I'm not doing it too fast. Now, there is a time when that changes. If, I got something in my hair, or if I tried a new product and it ended up leaving, my hair feeling greasy or having a heavy residue, I would wash it then. But beyond that, I'm not actually using shampoo except for twice a month, every 2 weeks. And I use the Papaya Castor Scalp Cleanser, like I said. But in between there, I am working out at least 6 times. So I still have to use something, and I use the co-wash for everything else. For that 2 weeks, I use the co-wash. And that means by the time I get to the end of the month, I have buildups, and that's why I use the clarifier. So still clarifying only once a month. I was only clarifying once a month before. That is still the thing. The big thing that's changed is I'm no longer using shampoo two times a week, up to 2 times a week. I'm now using it only once every 2 weeks. So another way that I fight my the dryness that my hair is now dealing with is I used to only mask once a week, and now I do what I call a mini mask almost every time I wash my hair. When I mask once a week, that is a 15 to 30 minute masking time. When I talk about mini masks, I use the same products. So I use the Eden Body Works Coconut Shea mask. I use the, right now I'm using the Shea Moisture Jamaican Black, I think, mask, one of their masks. I'm using the avocado, Alake Naturals avocado. That's just 3 of the masks that I'm using. I rotate them through the week, so I don't use the same one every time I wash, but I do a mini mask, and instead of going 15 to 30 minutes, I treat it like a conditioner, and I mask for 3 to 5 minutes. Basically, I put the mask in, put my hair up, finish washing my body, rinse out the mask, and that's my mini masking. And in addition to that, I still use conditioner, but I use the conditioner for a shorter period of time. So I use conditioner every time I wash, and that goes in my hair for 2, maybe 3 minutes total. It used to sit in my hair for the 5 to 10 minutes. The 5 to 10 minutes that the mini mask is now taking up, because I would put the conditioner in my hair, go ahead and wash everything, and then take the conditioner out. Now the mini mask is taking up the wash time, and then I just use the conditioner for while I wash my face. It's an easy way to make sure that the times are short, because you still don't want to overhydrate your hair, but because my hair is silver, I still need to keep it fairly hydrated. More hydrated than when it wasn't silver. So I still have to do things to take care of, to make sure that I don't do too much to it. So I'm still finding that balance, unfortunately. And I'm hoping that I can eventually get to the point where I'm mini masking every other wash, but so far that's not been a thing. We are in winter. It is much drier, so that's probably part of it. In the summer, maybe I'll be able to go to every other co-wash instead of having to do every wash. I am still, on the 2 days that I use shampoo, I do actually go further than a mini mask, because I'm using shampoo and it can dry out my hair. Even though these things are, the 2 that I'm using are gentle, and I didn't notice dryness before, because my hair is much more sensitive now. I'm trying to take care of that and reducing that, anything that they could be doing. I do a longer mask on both of those days. Basically, my shampoo and my clarifying days are days that I also kind of do a hair spa day, where I take care of my curls, and I do I do a 15-minute moisture mask on shampoo day, and I focus more on making sure my hair has protein on clarification day. So I do have a focus, but I still use the conditioner, and I still use the other stuff that I would also use. But I'm out, and I'm just taking care of those other things. I'm also supposed to do an ACV rinse twice a month. For some reason, that just hasn't become as much of a habit as I wanted it to. I'm not going to worry about it. If I can do an ACV rinse once a month, once every 2 months, that's great. But my hair has been doing fine without an ACV rinse. So, and for you to know, apple cider vinegar rinse, it's supposed to be really good for your hair, and I have noticed that it can increase shine and a few other things. But that hasn't been as consistent, and I'm okay with that. I'm already doing a lot of other things to try to keep the hair healthy, and I think I'd rather have the apple cider vinegar as part of, say, my shampoo, or part of a mask or whatever, instead of a separate thing that I do. I do use some rice water products, like I have these Curls and Potions Chebe Mint Collection Growth Stimulator Rice Water. I also have the mask that goes with this that I use once a month. So I'm getting my rice water in too. Rice water is supposed to really help with growth. But again, it's in other products. It's not something I do completely separately. To me, that's just too much time. I'm already spending too much time on my hair as far as I'm concerned. She's a little fussy on now, but anyway. So that's how I've changed my actual wash routine. When I dry and diffuse and stuff like that, first of all, I've changed my products. I'm down to 3 products. I use the coconut shea elixir. You all know that's the first thing that goes on my hair after I'm done with the wash and style. I do still use the Adwo Baomint leave-in styler, but that's a leave-in conditioner. So when I've got all my leave-in conditioner, all that in, the first thing that goes in is the coconut shea elixir. Then I have a triple cream mix. I've mixed together the coconut shea curl defining cream, the Rizzo's curls curl defining cream, and the Eden Body Works Citrus Fusion hair and body butter. And now the reason I do that is 2 of those have hold. The Rizzo's curls and the Citrus Fusion both have a small amount of hold. And because I use those, I don't then need to use a whole lot of additional gel. So I've actually cut the standard gels out of my routine at this point. I do use the Aussie Headstrong Volume Spray Gel. I spritz it in my hand, I rub it out, and I get it through my hair. But this is very, very lightweight, and it's primarily to help set my curl more than anything else. The other 2 have, I think, about the same or maybe a little bit more hold than this, the 2 creams. So that's why I've switched to those, and it allows me to use, say, the Rizzo's Curls, which is a bit more expensive, but has a bit more hold than the body butter, the hair and body butter. Allows me to use all those and keep the cost down. I just keep making a new, I have a pump bottle, and I just keep refilling it when I need it. Just mix it all together, and yeah. So I make my own. It's 1/3 of each item, and it goes in, and I mix it up, and it goes in there, and then I just pump it out on my hand. So I'm still going very light on product because I can still end up with my hair being overwhelmed, weighed down by too heavy product. I would say that what I'm doing with that is really helping. As you can see, my curls are very defined. I did do it today. They're defined. I still have a lot of that frizzy fuzz, but that's just my hair. I also changed how I diffuse a little bit, and I got a few tricks, and I'm going to show you one of them on my dry hair. So if we come out of this me looking like a big fuzz bomb, we'll just have to go with it. But basically, I still diffuse fairly close to the same way. That is upside down, using the diffuser close to my scalp. But instead of having this diffuser pick up my hair, I take my hand and pick it up like that, and then use the diffuser around it. Sometimes I will pick it up and then set it into the diffuser like that. This has helped a bit with my issues in the back. But I think part of my issues in the back is also the cowlick I have up here. And so some of those areas they just don't get curly. It's just the way that section is. I can get a little bit of a wave sometimes, and I'm still working on it because this area can be very hard for me to get. But again, it's the same thing where I use my hand to crunch it all up, and then I diffuse. I will sometimes set it on the diffuser and let the diffuser do that. But in general, I am using my hand to lift it up. A lot of people say don't use your hands on your hair when it's wet because that'll encourage frizz. I have not noticed any different. So my hair just has that thing going with the fluffy flyaways and frizz. It's just my hair, and I'm learning to live with it. So that's the first thing I do. I start with a light amount of product. Somewhere in the middle of diffusing, it'll get about 50 to 60%. I will add just a little bit more, and I mean a very tiny amount, right on the ends of my fingers, of the Citrus Fusion Body Butter, and I will scrunch that in, diffuse until I'm almost dry, and then I will add a little bit more of this, again, spritzing on my hand, rubbing it out, and then scrunching it in. And then I go, for the first 2 sections, I do a medium warm air, not hot, but medium warm, air and on a lower setting for pressure speed. And then for this, I go to cool air on the last one. So the last thing that I changed, this is the last thing that I've changed, and I've shown this on, I've done a Facebook video that I've uploaded. I've done a few things on Instagram to show what I do. But when my hair gets to about 97-98% dry, I actually plop it then. I don't plop it earlier. I've tried plopping it earlier and it just doesn't work. But I use a True twist. And I'm going to show you how I do this on dry hair, kind of. Just remember that when I normally do it, my hair is kind of damp. And you want it to be kind of damp because basically what this does is help finalize and set that curl in place. So take those off. And and I got this idea because one of the people I followed said that as long as your hair is damp, as long as your hair is wet, it can still be manipulated. And like I said, I was starting to lose a lot of curl from the silvers, and I wanted to figure out a way to save that. This helped save that. So I start with making sure it's inside out. If you do it any other way, you're going to fight getting it on your head, and it's going to make a mess. I have had some really wacky curl come out when I first started doing this, and I had to do it a couple of times to make it work. So then I go to the back of my hair. In this back section, I bring up like this, and I hold it up like that. So I've got hair on the side still, but that back section is up. And then we grab our inside out True twist and we flip it over like that. Now you have all this hair on the side. When I initially started doing this, I would poke it up. You don't want to do that. That actually disturbs the curl. So what you want to do is you want to cup or use the back or use the side of your hand and push it up so that your curl is not disturbed. And you do that all the way around your head. Hopefully you can see this. So you push it up like that. And I'm not going to try to get it all the way up. But once all your hair is up, once you're sure it's all up, you then take your True twist and twist it and close it. And you keep it on your head. Now, you do need to be close to dry or it's going to sit there and it's going to take forever to dry. The ones that I use are microfiber. They do absorb moisture, but it still can take an hour or more to dry. So I do it on days when I'm going to be doing makeup or I'm not going anywhere right away. And I just take it off like I did my makeup today. My makeup today took a while because there were other things going on. So I did my makeup today. And when I was done with my makeup, I took it off. And this is what I've come down with. So that is how I now do my hair. Sometimes my hair is, particularly I'm finding here in the winter, sometimes my hair is still a little damp. If it's still a little damp, I go ahead and grab the diffuser, make sure it's on cold air, and I go ahead and I do the cupping thing, and I go ahead and diffuse it away from my hand to finish the drying. It doesn't take that long using the diffuser that way. In fact, it was refreshing my hair that actually got me to use the True twist on freshly washed hair. Basically, I use a hair steamer. Just when I wake up, I steam. I put in a little bit of the coconut shea elixir. I steam some more. Then I grab a little bit of the hair and Citrus Fusion hair and body butter. And again, these are very small amounts. And I emulsify that a little bit. And then while I continue steaming, I scrunch that in. And then I do a little bit of scrunch of this again. Just a little bit. Again, about 5 to 10 pumps in my hand and scrunch that in. I turn off the steamer before I put this in. So I scrunch with the steamer, steaming my hair with the Citrus Fusion stuff, and then turn off the steamer, and then I use this afterwards. And then I do the same thing. I put it up in the True twist, let it sit up in the True twist for about 20-30 minutes. Let that go. If it needs more drying time, let it do a little drying. I have noticed that this will make my hair fuller for the second for the refresh. But again, that's something I'm doing differently. I've been struggling to find a good refreshing routine. This is it. This is the one that works for my hair. Am I still going to have a little bit of frizzies? Yes. Do I care? No. I'm actually getting curl, so I'm very happy with that. So that is some of the biggest things in my hair that are changes. I think the biggest shock for me was the silver. The hair loss wasn't quite as big a surprise because I had noticed it happening when I was premenopausal. So that is some of the changes going on with my hair. I did mention products that I use. However, it's not like I wanted to really say these are the products you have to use. I just wanted to give you an idea of if you're going silver, your silver hair is going to need more moisture. It's going to need more care. It is going to be more delicate. It is going to need, like I said, a lot more moisture because it's going to be drier in general. My hair is feeling really good right now. I just did my first treatment yesterday, giving it more moisture and all that other stuff yesterday, and it always looks better the second day. The first day I do a mask, my hair is like droop. Doesn't matter if it's in bad shape or good shape. That infusion just makes it just kind of go, okay, I'm gonna lay here. And that seems to happen even with protein treatments. Nope. But this is the second day. I did a co-wash today, and I used a deep conditioner today instead of a usual mask. But again, I used it the same. The deep conditioner had the same kind of instructions of 15 to 30 minutes, and you don't want to do that every day. You've got silver hair, so you got silver hair. You don't want to. It shouldn't require that you do that every day. So that's why I do the mini masks. So just find stuff that works for your hair. If you're finding that you need to do something more for your hair to take care of it because it's drying out or whatever, just be aware that as your hair gets more silver, especially if you got curls, you're going to have less curl, and it's going to be drier, and it's going to be more delicate, and you're going to have to work around that and give it more, basically. It wants more. It wants more. But you don't have to go crazy with that either. You also will need to reduce how much you shampoo with actual shampoo. You probably should reduce how much you wash with co-washes. I just can't because sweaty scalp. No, just no. Just no. But hopefully this will help you if you are starting to go silver, if you're starting to notice changes in your hair and you're trying to figure out what's going on, why your curl is getting looser, why your hair is feeling drier. Hopefully some of the information I've given will help you. I don't know if the Turby Twist idea would work with people who have, 3C to 4C hair. You guys are already all crunchy and curly and kinky. I know that this helps with my weird hair that is basically like a 1C through a 3B kind of. I got all that shit in my hair. And so if you have a looser curl pattern and you want to have more curl, it might help with you. But for people with a tighter curl pattern, I'm not sure it'll do much good. So just keep that in mind. Please don't come back and yell at me that I didn't tell the truth. And it does take some practice. I should say that. The first couple of times I did that, I almost gave up on it because it was like, okay, that looks very strange. One of the other things to be aware of if you do the Turby Twist is when you get it out of the Turby Twist, what you're going to want to do, because it's going to seem really flattened to your hair, your skull, is you're going to want to do a quick massage of your hair to lift your roots a bit. I mean, you've been doing them, if you do what I do and you're diffusing upside down, it will feel like you're kind of defeating the purpose of that by having it all scrunched up in a Turby Twist. But you've helped it a little bit, and now all you have to do is kind of give your scalp a bit of a massage and lift your hair up, and it does help. So you won't have flat hair if you just do that. So anyway, so hopefully all that will help. If you're having, like I said, if you're having hair issues, you may want to check into the minoxidil. Check into it. You can talk to your doctor about it first. Make sure you're not suffering from a vitamin deficiency. Make sure it's not your a medication that's interfering or whatever. And then you may want to go ahead and give that a try, and hopefully it'll help. You may want to do what I did and start with the lighter, lower concentration, the 2%. And then if you're not going to have kids, if you're older like I am, and you don't feel like this is going to be that big of a deal for you, then you can go to the 5%, which is what I've done. And I'm not having any other issues. I've been on it for about 6 or 7 months now. And I do say, if you look at the pictures, I will say that it has helped. So at any rate, so hopefully all that helps, and that is it for the day, and I hope you like what you've seen. And if you do like what you've seen, I hope you will subscribe. When you subscribe, please hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. I currently upload 2 days a week, and that would be Monday and Thursday. However, we do have bonus videos. We have me doing indie brand openings. My son has a box coming. You may have seen it, the first one, by the time I put this up. I don't know, but it has been ordered. It is on the way, if not. And we also, if you send anything, that also goes up as a bonus video. Unless you don't want me to. If you don't want me to, put a little note in your box saying, please do not embarrass me by unboxing this on the channel. Or you can join the domytriesthis Facebook group, which is listed down below. And in there, you can let me know that you have sent a box and you do not want it open on the channel. And I promise I will listen. I will not embarrass you that way. If you're one of my notification squad, you may want to check both your subscription and your bell to make sure they're both still active. And if you choose not to subscribe, well, be sad and disappointed. Last couple of videos have been long and rambly, so I can kind of see if you don't have a lot of time, you may not want to subscribe. And if you keep coming back, go ahead and subscribe for me, please. Help a girl out. But if you choose not to subscribe, that's okay too, and we will love seeing you again. So welcome back. When you do come back, don't forget to bring your cup of tea. All right, so this is really started to cool off. We put in a little extra. Let's see if we have helped this out in terms of flavor at all. I'm not impressed. In fact, if anything, there's now a bitterness in it. And it does have spices. In fact, there's something that's kind of peppery in there. But it's not like it's melded in. It's more like it's its own thing. Very, very strange. Not impressed. Yeah, not impressed. I don't know. It's chai, so I guess it's tea, but this is not something I would buy. And I'm kind of hoping that Sip Spy doesn't do anything like that every box now. That would be really disappointing. It really would. At any rate, that is it for the day. I hope you have a good one. Bye.